Exciting times at Sky. We've just been bought for £27 billion in the last few weeks, and we're now part of Comcast, NBC, Universal. So we're now part of a group that generates 100 billion in revenues each year and has 55 million customers. And one of the reasons that they were so interested in Sky is because we happen to have what Moritz has kindly alluded to is the world's best, the world's most developed addressable TV platform called Sky Adsmart. And that's great stuff. And it also gives us access to huge firepower, and they've encouraged Sky to go off and do all the things it does really well in other parts of the world. So Adsmart is already in some parts of Europe, but will be spreading its wings. So what do we mean by addressable TV, and what do we mean by Adsmart? Essentially, it is the best of both worlds, the best of broadcast combined with the best of digital. And what do we mean by that? Well, by best of TV, we mean putting your clients' ads and messages in world-class content. The behavior-changing power of television works when you position your message in content that people love. And Sky is all about connecting people to content that they love and pay for it, which is another key point. It uses an established measurement system, and then we're combining that with all the granularity and targeting that you would expect in a digital ad campaign. We've been doing this for over 5 years. The project's been in development for almost 10. Certainly I've been involved with it for about 6. And today we've got about 1,600 advertisers. And there's some really exciting, iconic brands within all that, people like Goldman Sachs and McLaren Cars and Princess Yachts. But there's lots of normal brands in there, which is what it's really about. Some of which are familiar to people who live up here. So Stoker's Furniture, Stoller's, even Cheshire County Council. Guess where they advertise? In Cheshire County Council, because you can isolate the local authority. We have delivered tens of thousands of campaigns and billions of impressions. And the two numbers that matter most on this rather boring chart are the one bottom left and top right. So bottom left, almost 3/4 of the brands come back and bought 2 or more campaigns. Some have only just booked their first, so we'll give them time. Someone like Stoker's have booked something like 40 campaigns, I believe. 3/4 of those advertisers are new to TV or new to Sky. And the story behind that is really fundamental to the future of addressable TV, because any business thinking about success, brand elevation, more sales is going to think, well, look, wouldn't it be great if I could just target the households that mattered to my business? And wouldn't it be great if I only paid for those households if I absolutely knew they'd seen my ad? And that's what Sky Adsmart does, and that underpins our success. It's built on 4 pillars that Sky is uniquely placed to offer. So the first one is scale, then an important piece around content, some tons and tons of data, but technology is really at the heart of it. So we've managed to turn all of our Sky set-top boxes into, what do we call them? Dynamic ad servers, that's what we call them. And each of them operate independently and intelligently. We send your ad to the household that matches the profile that you're after, and it'll sit there doing nothing, waiting for an opportunity to play out in linear content, whether you've recorded it, whether you're watching it live, which 3/4 of all content is still watched live, or you've recorded it and you're playing it back and you've forgotten that you haven't fast-forwarded through the ad break. You have to watch the ad either live or as live, and you have to watch 3/4 of it on that viewability test that we mentioned earlier for it to count as an impression. So it's really clever tech. In terms of scale, we're at a really interesting point in time. We're just about to jump from roughly 30% of homes to over 40% of homes by adding 4.5 million Virgin TV households. We had the first 2.5 million in March next year, and we'll have added them all by June. So we're really kind of going places in terms of reach. And then over the next 18 months, we'll add the circa 2 million homes that Sky have on the Now TV platform, plus some smart TV households and the YouView platform as well. So we'll be at 60% penetration of the whole of the UK in relatively short order. So it's exciting times in that sense. But all of this is a bit meaningless unless you've got content that people want to watch. And as I said, Sky's all about connecting people with content they love. And we spend more on content each year than the BBC and ITV put together, roughly 4 to 5 billion a year. A lot of that is on sports rights, but most of it is on really great stuff, and that's the environment that your ads will appear in. Plenty of third-party channels have seen the light here, so Viacom have made a big commitment, and Channel 5 and all of the other Viacom channels are part of that lineup. But that's a really key point. You've heard it mentioned previously. These are brand safe environments. This is an environment where your ad will be seen full screen. You know, big is good in this environment. And then on the data piece, we've taken our massive audience and we've segmented it 1,200 different times. So the most popular segmentation is the 66 different Experian Mosaic types. We sell a lot of that, but there's lots of other great stuff. We've kind of grouped them into 10 buckets here, so you get a flavor about the sort of targeting you can do. And what this means is that you can have two households next door to each other, both Sky customers, both watching Game of Thrones, could see different ads in the ad breaks depending on their profile. And one interesting one that's in here somewhere is that we're very good at targeting people that we know have just moved house. So if you've got a home, so two neighbours, one of whom has been there for years and one that's just moved in, guess which one's going to see the ads from the kitchen fitter, the carpet retailer, the window fitter, and so on and so forth, because those are the people who are in market for those products. So in terms of, and this is deterministic data, no fake accounts, no bots, no spurious email addresses. These are real accounts and real customers spending on average £600 a year with Sky. And when they move house, they tend to tell us because they don't like paying for a subscription they're not using. So it's incredibly accurate as well as dynamic. And then once we've delivered your campaign, served it out to all the correct households, they'll have seen it a preset number of times. You'll only pay for an impression if we know it's been watched properly. We can then take you on a journey where we can evaluate that. And again, playing on the strength of our viewers are also our customers. We'll share data agreements between each other. We'll move some data around, and we'll properly evaluate the performance in terms of sales or reaction to the ad from those that we know were exposed to a commercial and those that were not. And that gives enormous confidence and comfort to advertisers, which again is behind that stunning return rate. So many brands coming back because there's no doubt here that it works. And I just wanted to finish, I think I'll race through that because I wanted to get to this bit fairly quickly. These are just some of the ads that I think are quite significant in the addressable TV journey. And I wanted to pick out 3 of them. The first one, we'll go in a second, I might want to tell you, is Berry Telecom, which is a business telecoms business in the West Country. And one of the targeting options that we offer is the ability to target senior decision makers. That's people registered at company's house as a director or an owner of a company. So if you own a company of a certain size that has a business telecom system, you'll know about British Telecom because they're everywhere. You probably won't know about your local counterparts. And for that local counterpart, it's pretty difficult to compete on a level playing field with big established brands like BT. Can I just ask, is there anyone in the room called Brian? Good, you'll see why in a minute. I think this is a really brave ad from a local business that's used addressable TV to really kind of punch above its weight. So we'll play it and see what you think.
Brian ran his company's telecoms department, but instead of replacing the old phone system, he put it off for another day again. Then one day the old phone system broke down completely, which meant that he didn't get the call from his wife that she was coming home early, which meant that she unexpectedly witnessed a rather awkward scene. The resulting divorce cost Brian a small fortune, his house and his job. Now he lives in a small caravan watching lots of daytime TV. Don't be a Brian. Call today for a new business phone system from Berry Telecom.
So you're not going to be impartial about that ad, and it's actually a really famous business in Devon and Cornwall. Again, it works, and I'm using that level playing field thing. The next one I wanted to show you was Kia, Drayton Motors. I've been to this Kia dealership. It's down a little lane in Lincolnshire, middle of nowhere, loses business to the Kia dealership up the road. But Kia tell them they've got to run a standard ad about their cars with a little name at the end telling people where it is. And they went, we're an independent business, we don't want to do that. We know what we're selling. We're selling, come and visit this dealership. We're nice people. We'll give you a cup of tea and we might talk to you about a car. And I think this is a brilliant example of what local dealership advertising should be about, because they're not selling cars. They're selling an exchange of some time with you when you're a busy person. And whether you like it or loathe it, I think this does this in a really charming way.
Drayton Motors, your local award-winning Kia dealership.
Following our recent workshop expansion, we have increased our capacity and cut waiting times so we can now carry out more work than ever before.
From our new hybrid range, high-performance Stinger and old favourites such as Picanto and Sorrento, there's something for everyone here at Drayton Motors.
Our friendly sales and after-sales team are waiting to greet you.
Find Drayton Motors Kia in both Swanshead, Boston and just off the A16 in Louth and join our family today.
The all-new Kia Stinger, available now at Drayton Motors.
And guess what? They ran that ad, their sales shifts went sort of 100 up, their neighbours went down. It's been the best thing they've ever done. They've run about 4 or 5 campaigns with this, and we love it. And it's really brave, different stuff. And the last one I wanted to finish with is this idea that TV lands big ideas and gets you to think about doing stuff that you wouldn't otherwise do. And this is an ad that you're not going to be sort of ambivalent about. You'd either think, wow, or no chance. And it's not actually that far from here. I think it did run in this area, amongst others, targeting a particular age group, and it surfed Snowdonia.
In the heart of the Conway Valley, Snowdonia, North Wales. A magnificent inland lagoon with waves on demand. A place to hang, meet up with friends. Surf Snowdonia, an attraction like no other, with expert surf tuition whatever your level. Book your wave now. surfsnowdonia.com.
Want to go? It's good, isn't it? So just to finish, this is exciting times for addressable TV. We have a lot of fun talking with businesses about how we can help them grow and develop, and long may the journey continue.